What's up, y'all? Thanks so much for clicking on the video. My name is Leah, and let's recap and review Real Housewives of New Jersey. This is season 13, episode 15. So let's get into it. All right, y'all. So before we get into it, we about to get a little spicy, just a little, and we're going to read this article from page 6, which is basically telling us about the pause that has happened with Jersey. I'm going to put the link below, and then I'm going to give you my thoughts after reading the article. So the title says RHONJ put on pause amid Teresa Giudice and Melissa Gorga's feud. The Real Housewives of New Jersey has been put on pause, page 6 has exclusively learned. And this article was released on May the 16th. It says multiple sources tell us that Teresa Giudice and her sister-in-law Melissa Gorga are legitimately estranged, which has resulted in an abrupt halt. We're told Bravo does not know how to proceed under the current conditions and that no one has been offered a contract or been fired for next season. At this time, there is no set date for production to begin on season 14. Sources tell us cameras were set to pick up back in June following Giudice and Louis' wedding special in the upcoming season 13 reunion, but we're told showrunners informed the cast that that would not be happening. It says, in fact, many of the ladies have begun to plan summer vacations due to the hiatus. Sources tell us that the latest update the cast received was that Bravo is not even sure filming will begin until 2024. We're told that the Golden State girls are divided over how to feel. While some are worried about the financial impact, others are welcome for the reprieve. An insider close to the production says no official decision on season 14 has been made as a finale. Teresa and Louis' wedding special and the reunion episodes have yet to air. As page 6 previously reported, season 13 reunion, which the ladies filmed last month, was particularly intense. Multiple sources told us Giudice was completely unhinged and out of control while taping. Andy Cohen moderated, sat down with her castmates. Our sources said that nastier than ever and cursing a lot. We were told this season OG seems very unhappy, mad at the world, and that Cohen appeared frustrated with her the entire time. However, an insider insisted the network head honcho 54 was any more frustrated with Giudice than the whole situation, claiming she got worked up only when the topic of her family dynamic came up. This was the first time Teresa, Melissa, and Joe were going to see each other in person, the insider pointed out, emphasizing the trio's long history of deep-rooted family issues. The insider said Giudice 50 acted out of a place of hurt, but adamant that her same energy was not necessarily matched by her brother or his wife, both 44. All right, y'all. So that was the article, and here are my thoughts. I'm okay with them putting them on pause, in all honesty. And the main reason why is because I feel like New Jersey is starting to reach New York and Dallas territory, where it's like New York territory where it's like we're gonna either have to overhaul the cast, or we're gonna add brand new people, or we're gonna split it in half, have a New Jersey cast and then a legacy cast with all the old people. And I was like, I don't really want that, but I can see that happening in New Jersey. Then Dallas territory would be like, it's non-existent, because the network dropped the ball, in my opinion, by making Teresa and Melissa and Joe and their feud the focal point of the show. Because at this point, if you have two people who have been the focal point of your show saying, I no longer want to film with that person, I'm no longer comfortable filming with that person, what can the network ultimately do? Other than shut down production and try to mediate the situation or get them to work with each other. And it doesn't seem like that's going to happen. And I'm okay with that. For the longest, they just been going in circles and getting nowhere. And I'm tired of watching that, because New Jersey is starting to hit Potomac category for me, where I enjoy the first couple of episodes, but by the time we get to episode 5 or 4, I'm ready for this show to be off. And I hate that about Potomac, as well as I hate that that's where New Jersey is going, because New Jersey used to be one of my favorite Real Housewives franchises. But now I'm starting to get tired of it, because I'm tired of us going in circles. So I'm okay with them putting them on pause, and hopefully they figure it out. But let's move on to this review. I don't know what they put in that punch at Paulie's party. I don't know if it was LSD. I don't know if it was shrooms. I don't know if it was ecstasy. I don't even know if it was it was just everyone was doing too much at this party. And y'all already know I'm not team Melissa, I'm not team Teresa. I feel as though all of them are culpable in the destruction and the deterioration of their family at this point. In the beginning, yeah, I could say I took sides, but now that I've been watching this show for several seasons, I find fault with everybody. I find fault with everybody. And this party was just wild to me. Like, everybody was acting wild to me. Everyone looked crazy. And I know Paulie was looking at Dolores like, you brung these riff-raffing hoes up into my establishment, into my home acting crazy. Got my neighbors looking at me on the balcony while these people arguing. Everybody was tripping. Everybody was tripping. So the episode takes place as Paulie's 1920s, 1930s Ireland party. I thought Melissa and Dolores looked the best to me. More so Dolores. Dolores looked so pretty to me. So the party is getting to going. It's the beginning of the party. We don't see Danielle, Teresa, or Jennifer. And they're having a discussion about Danielle. Oh, we have, I think it was Rachel, Rachel, Margaret, Jennifer Fessler, Melissa, and Dolores, and they're talking about Danielle and how she's been behaving. Margaret has some hard on for Danielle because she was like, I don't believe her story. I just feel like there's she's full of it and she just wants to be the center of the attention, yada yada yada. And then Rachel was like, I think she might really be going through it. Then Dolores is like, at Teresa's engagement party, she was crying, and everyone's like, My thing about Margaret is I don't understand why Margaret has such a hard on for Danielle. Because sis, you won. You checked that girl so hard in Ireland in that dank and probably mold infested castle so badly at that table that she was so shook and on mute that she ran up them steps and cried in her bedroom. I don't understand why you keep constantly wanting to out her as a liar, as she's fake and she's a fraud and she's this and she's that. It's like you doing too much. And it's starting to feel like the way she was with Danielle. I didn't like Danielle. I don't even remember Danielle's last name. Y'all know the lady, prostitution whore lady. I cannot remember her last name. It's starting to feel that way. You are picking on Danielle. Someone did a compilation of how many times you violated that lady and you were bullying her. We just gonna call a thing. You threw drinks on her. You pushed her husband in the pool. You threw a glass at her. You threw water on. You did a lot to her. And it's do you just not like people with Danielle? The name Danielle? Because you're doing a lot. Because I'm you won. And I don't understand and maybe that's just me. If I check somebody so hard and I read them their rights where they can't even say anything back to me and all they can do is run upstairs and cry in their bedroom, you would not exist to me anymore. There's nothing you could ever do to make me feel some type of way because I got you so good. You ran away from me crying. And it seems like Margaret is so fixated on Danielle, and it's weird to me at this point. So Danielle finally gets there. And she sees Melissa and Rachel. And Melissa's like, girl, were you really crying at Teresa's her engagement party? And she was like, yeah, I was, y'all trigger me. Y'all family issues trigger me. And she was just like, and so then Rachel was like, yeah, because you was crying in Ireland. She was just like, it's a lot. And then all of y'all were coming at me when we were in Ireland. And then Danielle pretty much tells Rachel, I didn't want to fight with you. I really want to be friends with you. I never wanted to have these issues with you. So then Rachel tries to say, well, you have to understand, I had to tell Margaret. Margaret and me are friends. Y'all are not friends. Y'all are associates. But I get what you were trying to do, Rachel. You set an alliance and you let your allegiance be known, and you got with the team you thought was winning. So Rachel is like, I was just I had to tell her because she was already freaking out about the whole Laura thing, and I just wanted to be a good friend to her. And Danielle's like, but I would have never done you that way. And then Rachel's like, well, if I was saying disparaging things about Jennifer, you would have told Jennifer. And Danielle's like, no, I wouldn't. And I'm looking at Danielle and I was like, Jennifer, you saw this, look at Danielle sideways, because girl, But my whole thing about this whole situation, I felt like it was a lot. And the reason why I felt like it was a lot is because Or when I mean a lot, I mean like it was blown out of proportion. Because to me, what Danielle said about Margaret wasn't that big of a deal. It wasn't like she was disparaging Margaret's name or saying like crazy things. All she said is like, oh, I kind of do believe that she does have an arsenal on people. That's a critique that she made after getting information from other people. Same way Rachel has made critiques of Jennifer and Teresa after getting information from other people. That doesn't make sense to me why she's so fixated on that. And Margaret made it more, in my opinion, made it more than what it needed to be. Now, I felt like after a while, Danielle should have let it go and moved on from it, but she didn't. But I didn't understand the amount of aggression and vitriol Margaret had, because it's like, you do. You be spraying people with their own tea all the time. Why does it matter when other people are like, yeah, you do that? Unless it matters to you because you feel bad about it and you feel like you feel bad about it. Like if you can't stand in it, then stop doing it. So then we have Jennifer finally getting there with her husband, and Jennifer and Danielle start to have a conversation. I feel like Jennifer was already drunk before she got there, but Jennifer was like, mingling, and then Danielle's like, I'm going to tell Melissa. Jennifer was kind of looking at her like, girl, don't do it. Girl, don't do it. But Danielle wanted to do it anyway. So Danielle sits Melissa down in the like den area, and she tells her, I heard a rumor, this, and this. And they're saying that it came from Margaret. Melissa is sitting there like, girl, I already knew about this 6 months ago. And then Melissa tells us that Louis and Teresa called Joe and told him about the rumor. And Louis and Teresa are coming from the standpoint of like, we're like, you need to get ahead of this rumor, just like Margaret was last season. And Melissa was like, that's so wrong of them, because I think she got PTSD from that whole thing about her being a gold digger and a prostitute them years ago, that she felt some type of way. I don't fault Teresa telling Joe, because it's like, if I find information out about my sister's man and I feel like it's true, I'm telling my sister. I don't owe you any loyalty, family law or not. That's my sister. I've lived my life long enough with her that I'm owed, all my loyalty is owed to her. But I feel like the issue for me with this whole like Louis and Teresa calling Joe is, it should have been Joe and Melissa sitting at that table at your house, not just Joe by himself. That's where it gets shady and sinister, because it's like, why wouldn't you tell her this and tell her that? Joe was like, it's not. Joe didn't believe it. So then you have Margaret coming into the into the area talking about, I hear my name. What are you saying, Danielle? So Margaret goes off on Danielle. Melissa's trying to tell Margaret it's not that deep. Don't even get upset about it. So then Danielle is like, girl, I'm sick of you, Margaret. So they get to going back and forth. Margaret is calling Danielle bougie, fake, saying that like she's a nobody, she's classless, she's trash. You got Danielle being like, you're an old hag, an old bird. Then Margaret's like, get your hands out my face. Danielle started putting them hands in Margaret's face like, and what you gonna do about it? Nothing. I said, ooh. So everyone's looking around like, what are they arguing about? Then you got Rachel coming around like, what are y'all yelling about? Teresa comes over there. Danielle's still going off. Jennifer's trying to hold Danielle back like, girl, calm down. So then Melissa's calling everybody losers, and mainly she's saying that towards Jennifer and Teresa. Teresa was like, what is that about? You got Dolores sitting there with her eyes big as hell like, oh, this is about to get real nasty real quick. Like Dolores was so like, oh my God, like this is going into a point of no return. Like Dolores was like, I feel sick to my stomach. And Teresa's like, girl, get out my face with that. So Teresa walks away. Melissa walks over to Teresa saying like, you're disgusting. Like you tried to spread this rumor about me. Like, you tried to like break up me and my marriage with my husband. And Teresa's like, Melissa, get away from me. And I'm like, oh girl, y'all about to scrap? Is y'all about to scrap? Then Joe is like, yeah. He starts to reiterate it. So then we find out that Teresa told Danielle and Jennifer not to say the rumor, but they said it anyway. And she's like, it is what it is at this point. She was like, I can't control adults. So then Jennifer and Margaret get into it. Jennifer and Margaret get into it, and that's what Margaret is like, Jennifer, you're on this whole revenge tour. And I mean, like, she is. And, like, honestly, y'all, if I'm gonna be honest, she's well within her right to be on a revenge tour. Like, you embarrassed me. Now I'm about to ruin your life, too. Like that's the type of stuff I would be on. But Margaret got Jennifer. Margaret got Jennifer when she was like, your husband has sex with an employee. And then I don't know what happened, but then Jennifer lost her shit and started lunging at Margaret. And that's when Rachel had to get in between them. And then Bill had to pull her away. And she was like, that woman threw herself at my husband. I'm like, girl, even if she did, your husband caught her. Your husband caught her. And y'all know I love some Jennifer, but your husband caught her. Honestly, Jennifer just ain't been able to get back up after her happy life, or what she was showing everyone to be her happy life, got busted out. And she's very hurt by it. She's hurt that her kids are affected by it. And honestly, Jennifer has to deal with that, but Margaret also has to deal with that as well. I'm not saying Margaret didn't have a right to like say what she said about Jennifer, or say what, or bust Jennifer and Bill out. But when you do that type of stuff, you have to be prepared for the repercussions. And the repercussions is you got an enemy for life. And if they want to screw up your life, they will do so. And I also feel like Margaret feels bad because I don't think she really thought that it was going to rattle Jennifer this bad, but it has. And I think Margaret is starting to have to deal with the fact that, like, oh, I might have went too far. I might have went too far and I made somebody unravel. And I want Jennifer to stand up. I want Jennifer to stand up. I want Jennifer to get back to the way she was, where she used to cuss Margaret out. And maybe this pause will help everybody, center themselves and get back to it. And I was happy that Bill said, I'm sorry that I put you in this predicament, because it is your fault. It is your fault with your good looking self, Bill. It is your fault. Take ownership. Take ownership. So then Teresa follows Bill, and Teresa follows Bill, and Jennifer, like, don't let her rattle you. But Jennifer's like, I'm over this. So then Margaret and Danielle start to get into it again. Then Louis and Joe start getting into it. And this is where I can't do Joe, and I can't do Louis, because Louis starts to yell out, that's Bo Delito knows ish about everybody. And we find out later on in the episode that Bo Delito is like a private investigator and a friend of Louis. And pretty much he got tea on everybody. And when Louis was about to say something, he got real riled up, looking bug-eyed as hell, like he was on that stuff, on that good girl, on that white girl. And I was like, get him. But when Joe was like, you don't get in no woman's face. Joe, do you know how many times we have seen you get downright violent with your sister and say the most hateful things to Teresa? You called her a scumbag in front of her child. You fought her husband. You be throwing cheese plates. You be giving real, like, roid out gorilla tease when you get angry. So it's like, it's funny for you to be like, you don't get in a woman's face, when we seen you do it to your sister. Even though she's your sister, she's still a woman, and you don't have a sense of respect for her. So it's like everyone was acting crazy. Everyone was acting crazy. You got Margaret trying to tell Teresa, be there for your family. Then you got Danielle and Margaret getting into it, where Margaret is like, you broke up this family. I'm like, Margaret, you aided in it too. This whole season you've been stirring the pot. So what are you talking about? Did you just not think it was going to get this bad? Because you know what? I'll give her that. I don't think nobody thought they was going to get this nasty at this dinner, or everybody was going to be on one. But I guess, when things come to a head, things come to a head. The only good thing was I thought it was nice to see Frank and Paulie hug, and Frank apologized to Paulie and be like, I'm so sorry they acted like this in your house, bro. I am so sorry. I said, okay, friendship, camaraderie. So it's the next day and the end of the episode, and Teresa pretty much says, like, I'm done with my family. They don't need to be at my wedding. I don't need to see them. And I feel like that's for the best. Because at this point, we going around in circles and we not getting anywhere anymore. We are not getting anywhere anymore. And like I said, I did not really enjoy this season because I'm sick of the family drama. I feel like at this point, if y'all don't want to be friends or be a family or even be co-workers, that is your right. Disband. I don't know how they're going to move. I don't know how the network's going to move forward with New Jersey unless they have like a whole season of like Joe, Melissa, and Teresa and Louis going to counseling. But let go and let God at this point. Let go and let God. Because I don't know. I don't like Louis. I don't really like Joe. Teresa get on my nerves. Melissa gets on my nerves. Honestly, you could get rid of all four of them and I would be happy with who we got and add 2 new people so I can move on and deal with the people we got right now. But I don't know. But that's my thoughts. Remember to be bravely authentic, y'all, and hop down in them comments below. Deuces.